it struck me yesterday. I once heard Kobe Bryant say in an interview that it doesn't guarantee victory, but preparation is what gives you the confidence to get the job done. And it struck me yesterday because I thought you guys played with confidence throughout the game, beginning to end. If they smacked you, you smacked right back. Especially when Daniel came on the field early on. I think first possession, it was like you were already down 7-0. You could tell it was let's go. Did you feel that in their minds, their preparation is what got them there?
Yeah, and I think that's what you have to lean on in these type of games is your preparation, your practice, and then ultimately going out there and executing it in a competitive situation in a high-stakes game. And those guys kept a level head. They were composed, thought they were prepared, and ultimately they're the ones that went out there and executed throughout the game to give ourselves a chance to win both, offense, defensively, and the kicking game.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Patty Traina.
Good morning, Diggs. How are you?
Good, Patty. How are you?
I'm good. I meant good afternoon. Sorry about that. I have two for you, if I may. Can you talk a little bit about the job your assistant coaches have done with guys that have come in, after training camp, mid-year, just getting them up to speed? What is the process that they've been doing to get these guys up to speed to where they've been able to contribute?
Yeah, they've spent a lot of time. Anytime we bring a new player in, that position coach spends a lot of time with that player to get him up to speed as quickly as we can. You give credit to the players because they're the ones that have to, come in and learn it and spend extra time at night. But very thankful for the guys that I get to work with, all the assistants, from the offensive assistant, defensive assistant, all the way up to the coordinators. It's a really good group, and they help me do my job. They're great teammates, and very thankful for everybody on our staff.
And then just one other question, not related. There are people that are saying that right now the team is playing its best ball. I'm sure you'll probably disagree with that, but what do you know what the ceiling is for this team at this point, and how close are they to really breaking through that?
Yeah, I'd say we don't concern ourselves with that. We concern ourselves with our preparation and our process and our practice habits and doing everything we can do as a coaching staff and as players to get ready to play a game. And we're in a short week here. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. I understand we just played these guys, twice here in the last month. We'll play them again here coming up. So there's familiarity on both sides, but again, there's always a process that you have to go through, and will be a one less day to do it. So a lot of work that needs to be done.
Thank you.
You got it.
Brian Dunleavy.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Good, Ryan. How are you?
Good. You've probably heard the sports cliche that one of the hardest things in sports to do is beat the same team 3 times. That's what the Eagles will be trying to do. Have you ever put any stock in that? What kind of impact do the first 2 games, being especially that they were within the last month, have on this game?
None. I mean, it's how we go about our business this week. Again, how we prepare, how we practice, and then, again, ultimately how we play on Sunday or Saturday in this case. Every game's a new game. Obviously, you have matchups that you've won against here over the last 2 times you played them, but one week really has nothing to do with the next week, or one game has nothing to do with the next game, other than you take things from it, you learn from it, you try to grow from it. But it's going to be how we execute on Saturday and how we prepare throughout the week, and that's our process. It's what it'll always be, and that's what it'll be this week.
And this kind of builds off what Patty was saying, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, both Belton and Flott hadn't played at all on defense until the fourth quarter, and they both made, whether it was Belton with a tackle and I think Flott had a pass breakup, pretty big plays. This kind of goes to what Patty was saying, but just what does that say about guys and their ability to come in cold like that and make big plays? Because the opponent's going to attack a guy like that off the bench.
Yeah, no, I think that, again, they've give the players credit. They've played games throughout the season. They've gotten better, and whoever we bring to the game has to be ready to go. We have a lot of confidence in all of our guys. I mean, those two guys made really critical plays. I'd say Breida made a critical play on 3rd and 1 when 4 guys sniffed it out. Galladay made a critical play on a block. Everybody's responsible for, our football team when we play on Saturday or Sunday, all of us. Everybody plays a hand in it, whether that's 3 plays, whether that's 60 plays. We're all accountable to one another to do the best we can.
Dan Duggan.
Hey, Brian. You played Jared Davis, obviously, over Micah, who had played a lot during the season. Just curious what went into that decision, and how'd you feel Jared performed?
I think he did good. He's played well the last couple weeks, and we thought that was the best thing for our team for this game. He's picked up our stuff, and we'll see how it goes this week.
And then with Kafka, I know he's able to start doing interviews tomorrow, and I think another request just came in. How are you guys going to handle that this week? You talked about what his plan will be. Yeah,
we have. I'm not going to dive too deep into it. He's not going to do anything. Everything's focused on Philadelphia. So, this is going to be a normal week for him, for our offense. I know where his focus is. So there won't be any interviews leading up to this game.
Okay, thanks.
You got it.
Jordan Renan.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Jordan.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. How different do you think your team is from the one that Philadelphia faced the first time?
I'd say you try to evolve after every game. I think we've gotten a little bit better each week. So, again, what's going to matter is how we play on Saturday.
Specifically, though, your defense, obviously you're gaining, half your secondary back at the where he came back, and Xavier didn't play in that first game. How much more does that allow you to do when those two are in the game?
I think with whoever we have in there, we do as much as we can do. I think all of our players understand our system and how we want to approach things. We're week to week. Whether it was Jay Penn or Belton or T-Jeff or whoever it may be is in there, everybody knows what to do. It's always good to have starters back that have missed some time, and it's good to have those two guys back.
And anything on Pinnock or Ojulari or either of those long term, where they you could basically just rule them out and their season's in jeopardy or anything like that.
No, we'll go day to day with all those guys. Go day to day.
Anyone else? I see you looking at a list there.
How do you know what I'm looking at, Jordan?
I'm assuming.
No, we're in good shape. After a tough game, I think nothing out of the ordinary.
Pat Leonard.
Thanks.
You got it, bud.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Good, Pat. How are you?
Good, thanks. In your time here just this year, how much have you learned about the amount of animosity that exists in this rivalry between the Giants and the Eagles?
Well, it's a division game, so I think every division game is important. We had obviously 0-2 against them this year, so we got to do a good job this week of getting ready to play. The best team in the league, the best team in the NFC.
What is the fiercest rivalry or rivalry game that you've ever been a part of, and what does it add to the actual game experience or the competition of it?
Well, I think anytime you play a division game, it's a pretty good rivalry. I have, obviously this is a pretty big one here, being so close to one another. They have a tremendous fan base, a tremendous team, and it'll certainly be a big challenge for us.
What's the fiercest rivalry you've ever been a part of?
I don't know. I've been a lot of them. There's, anytime you're in whatever division you're in, I would say that those teams that you're playing are huge rivalry games. And obviously this division is a unbelievable division with a lot of history and certainly huge competition between these teams College too. I've been in college where there's some pretty big rivalries. So, but this one is near the top here.
Thanks.
Yep.
We'll take 3 more. Tom Canavan.
Hey, Brian.
Hey,
How
Tom.
you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. You've done this all season, but so I assume the short week is a short week, and that's it.
That's it.
The other question I had is when you looked at how Adoree played, did you see what you wanted to see, and how much was he a part of the fact that Jefferson had whatever it was, 40 yards after the opening series?
Yeah, no, it was good to have him back. I thought he played a good game, and again, when you're playing a opponent and a player of his caliber, it takes everybody, pass rush, coverage, but it was good, definitely good to have him out there.
Ralph Acciano.
I don't quite know how to follow that.
Yeah.
Hey, James, one of the biggest challenges, I think, of the Eagles is their pass rush. 70 sacks, I think they've got this season. Knowing that, wondering if you could talk a little bit about how you feel Andrew Thomas has played this season and what it does for your game planning, knowing that you have a left tackle who is playing at what I assume you'll agree is a pretty high level right now.
Yeah, no, he's obviously been one of our best players, smart, tough, dependable, very good leader for us, and he's had a lot of tough matchups. But again, that the team we're about to play with all their sacks and their production and the players they have up front, it's a challenge. It was a challenge the first time we played him. It was a challenge the second time we played him, and that's certainly something that we're going to have to do a good job with.
Thank you.
You got it.
Paul Schwartz.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, you unveiled, I don't think you've used the behind-the-back handoff from Daniel this season before. Is that something that's fun? It's obviously something that's used to get a result there. And is that like the evolution of the offense in Daniel that you can do stuff like that?
No, I just thought, it's something that we have run in the past. I ran it when I was at Miami, Cleveland, Buffalo against Denver. We scored and got called back on a holding penalty. Just gave it a different look. Thought it was something that we could use and, maybe steal a few yards, possibly, more than that. So, that's all we try to do each week is try to put plays in that we think are going to, be effective for us.
Is that something that you have to trust the quarterback, obviously? That's a ball handling thing. I mean, it's not the riskiest thing, but he's got to fake it this way. Behind the back pass of basketball, you get put on the bench sometimes when you make that, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's something that we practiced. And again, if, Daniel's a pretty good athlete and, has a pretty good feel for, a lot of different things in terms of ball handling. So something we've been, we put in, thought would give us a chance. I mean, didn't gain a whole bunch from it, but, those are things that each week you try to look at and see if you can steal something, whether that's on third down, backed up, wherever it may be. That's why we put it in.
You got a folder full of them waiting to pounce at the right time?
Well, I think there's a lot of conversations each week, and, Mike comes from a place where, they did that a bunch at Kansas City. And then all the other assistants have certain things, but it's got to be the right play, and you have to put it in for a reason, and obviously that reason is you think it's going to work.
Thank you.
You got it.
Last one here, Jen Williams.
Hey, Brian, quick question for you. So
Sure.
Obviously you were the underdog heading into Minnesota, and now this run is starting to draw some comparisons to the 2007 run, which, for lack of better words, was a little bit of an improbable one. Has anyone said that to you? Have you gleaned anything from that? And if not, maybe the question is, how do you guys embrace the underdog role? Because now you'll be the underdog, seen as the underdog in both of these matchups.
I think we just focus on what we can control, Jen, is having our good week. That's what we need to do. We're process oriented, And that's really what we focus on. As terms of, what happened 16 years ago, no. Yeah.
What about that kind of just identity, like playing with a chip on your shoulder?
Yeah.
What would you say your team's identity is?
We try to be smart, tough, and dependable, and focus on the things we can control. Come in with a positive attitude, and try to be as resilient as we can. Know there's going to go through some tough times, whether that's during a season, during a game. It's not always going to be perfect. We're at where we're at. Philadelphia's earned that right to have a bye and be the number 1 seed, and we'll just do everything we can to be ready to go on Saturday.